Hello again. Oh man, I'm so exhausted because I just came back from watching two credible movies actually. I watched Edge of Tomorrow and 22 Jump Street. Sorry, I'm totally spaced out. I'm so tired. It's like 1:14 right now. I just came back and I have all this makeup on that my friend did. Doesn't it look awesome? Like, I look like a doll. And then I had like teardrops and I had like little things like yeah. My movie review. This is gonna be my movie review. Movie review for Edge of Tomorrow. And then I'm going to do 22 Jump Street tomorrow, which when I post the video. But my my words about Edge of Tomorrow was pretty good. Pretty good. Like, I was surprised. Like, the first 20 minutes of the movie, there was a part in it where, I forgot his name, the officer, he would die, and then, wait, no. There was an officer, he would, like, be transported from Paris to London. Yeah, because he was on a helicopter, and then the lady's like, "Welcome to London," and his first he walked first. Oh, I can't remember. Sorry, his first memory is getting off that helicopter, entering into the Union Building, talking to the sergeant, yeah, Colonel, General, basically, and then being ambushed, then being brought back to Paris, and everybody doesn't acknowledge him as being a officer anymore. Everybody acknowledge him as a soldier, and one of the generals was like, now you're a soldier. You're going to have to go into combat. And he's like, I don't want to go into combat. And he's like, no. He's like, I'm an officer. I don't need to do this. And he was like, no, you need to go into combat. And long story short, he goes into combat. They go into the battle. They call it the sea, or they go to the beach. Yeah, the beach. It's called the beach. But they go to the beach and nobody really knows. Everybody's all pumped up. Everybody's like, we're going to war, fight for victory, fight for our families, be proud. We're going to fight and go to war. We're going to have victory in this. And little did they know is that the helicopter that I think all 23 men were on explodes. And they had to literally release the cord from their safety vests, and they all drop. No parachute or anything. They all drop straight, and they land into the beach. It doesn't have any water in it because they're these creatures. They don't really describe them. They look like crabs because they have many legs, but they're also robotic and really, really they look kind of like if you really want to have a detailed crab, it's exotic, like technological crab, but creature sort of. And yeah, so they drop down, and if you really like the whole type of transformer type thing, it definitely, when I was watching it, it was like, this is like Transformer, a little bit. You know what I mean? They had the suits, they had the gear, they had the heavy armor, definitely. When they would stand vertically and look forward, the whole thing would close on their faces and stuff. like the person and the person inside the armor would become as one, and you would have a battery and bullets, and basically you control it. You move your arm and the arm moves. You move your leg and the leg moves. And it was really good. It was, but the only thing that was really annoying is that I was like, "Oh no. This movie reminds me of a past movie that I've watched where like the first hour it would how do I explain this? Like okay, like the first 20 minutes or the first 30 minutes of Edge of Tomorrow, it would go through him stepping off the helicopter, being greeted to London, having that meeting, being ambushed, being transported to a facility where he has to become a soldier, then training, then getting into all of the combat uniform and gear, and then being put onto a helicopter, having the helicopter explode, then him being forced basically to fight to survive these creatures on the beach. And he would die every single time he died. Well, yeah, he died the first time, and it was, and then when he died the first time, these creatures exploded, and his blood and the creature's blood combined and splashed on his face, which made a deadly combination. So he was dead, like right off the bat. But the blood of, they call it the blood of the alpha. The alpha fused into his blood. So the whole they have this whole like prophecy of the omega and the alpha coming together, and it needs to be broken. And once the omega is broken, then the whole pattern of the prophecy can end and it won't continue. And that was the whole thing with him, is that, you know, the blood was fused into his blood. And that's why every time he died going into battle, it would repeat over and over and over again. Literally, like 20 minutes into the movie, like after the fact that he died, he would wake up to a general screaming in his ear, and he's like, "Maggot, get up! Like, you piece of shit," or whatever. And he would just keep getting tormented and tormented again and again and again and again. And it happened like many, many times. And then he met a lovely, lovely woman named Rose. Her real name is named Rose. And she finally tells him that when she dies, she also dies. And I think everybody, it's sad, I think everybody on that little reserved area knew that they died, but they just kept replaying the same thing over and over again, because I guess they didn't want to like really accept the fact that no matter how hard they try, no matter how far they come to in getting victory on defeating the creatures, they die. Ultimately, their faith is to die on that island, or wherever they, you know, push themselves to fight and then have victory. They always end up dying somewhere, and then they have to go back and redo the whole thing all over, or possibly die and then go back to where they finished, where they died. So when you die, you go directly back to where you died, and then you start all over again. But I was just like, I was sitting there, and I was like, oh man, I was like talking to my friend. I was like, you know what? I bet I have to sit here for an hour just watching a rerun of like what just happened. And I'm like, it was frustrating a little bit, but then the movie started picking up again. It was kind of funny because I was sitting there and everybody was just like, I was like, oh, like every single time he would die and then go back to like where he started, and it was like, oh, it was just like, oh my god, he dies again. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He dies again. Like, how many times does this guy have to die? But that's the whole point of the movie. And I don't really want to give the ending away, but it's so dramatic, and the ending was pretty good because it had irony. It had this type of irony in it. It was like, of course, of course. What do you expect now from the ending? You'll figure it out when you watch it. But yeah, out of my rating to give to Edge of Darkness, I would give it an 8 out of 10. That's pretty high. It was a really good movie. I mean, really, it was action packed. It had a little bit of romance, not too much, and I like that because some action movies, it's like, oh, like overboard and it gets uncomfortable. It was like in the movie there was a part where Rose, she is a badass. She is an intimidating woman, but there was a little bit of like chemistry, a little bit of attraction between them two, and I think no, in the movie she gave him a little kiss to like be like, here's my like, like I'm giving you strength a little, because you can tell that he's just like, and she would always help him and train him and encourage him, and